Hey guys, SirVern back here, and today I'm reviewing Greyhill Incident. I'm going to go over the same 5 categories I always do: graphics, performance, gameplay/story, replayability, fun factor, give each category a score from 1 to 10, average it up, and then talk about the game a little bit. So this is like an action, story, walking simulator, horror game. Not exactly sure how to classify this one, but just know it's definitely an indie game. It is very short, 2 hours max. Well, if you get lost like I did, maybe two and a half, three. My glasses are all crooked. Um, but anyway, we'll start with graphics. I give graphics an 8. The graphics are good, you know, surprisingly good for, like I said, an indie game. This is a super low budget game, um, and janky, but I'll get to that. So graphics an 8. I think that everything looks pretty good. You know, that's all I can really say about it. Character models are okay. Environments look pretty good. Uh, Lighting is pretty interesting. Really foggy and spooky, but graphics an 8. Um, and that's going to be the highest category. Just heads up. Performance. Overall, this game works decent, but you do, in such a short game, there shouldn't be many glitches at all, or bugs. So I ran into one bug where I just hold my hand out, like where your gun or flashlight's supposed to be. Nothing in the hand, but the motion or the stance he was doing indicated he had something in his hand. So that happened a few times. Also, there's one part in the game where you're supposed to go somewhere, but it like didn't let me go, and it's kind of confusing. You're not sure if you're supposed to do that. It won't let you do that. It's just kind of frustrating. Um, Let me think if that's it. I think that's really it. But those are one of them was almost is not game breaking, but so frustrating that I almost like just gave up the game. So anyway, I gave it a 7. I docked it 3 points because there's technically only 2 different types of glitches, but one of them was pretty significant, so I docked it 3 points. So 7 for performance. Um, Gameplay/story. At first, let me just say, I was kind of impressed because the graphics are really good. The sound, is intense, scary. Um, I saw this, just the cover of this game looks really, really cool, and I was just kind of hooked. You can see you're hiding under a bed right here, and I can just imagine aliens walking by looking for you. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Signs. Most people I don't think liked that movie, but I did, and it freaked me out as a kid, and this kind of reminds me of that. Um, and the game doesn't really hold your hand in some respects. It's just really frustrating. Like you'll walk over here and it'll say turn around. I think I should turn around, or I think I'm going the wrong way. So I mean, for instance, I think I'm in this room forever just because I couldn't figure out how to get out of the room. It doesn't tell you how to like open a door or something. I don't know. It's different and can be frustrating. Story, it's okay. What's there is just very bare bones and okay. It's like I said, they could have extended it. It just kind of ends abruptly. Um, in fact, I'm gonna have to like look up what the ending means, or if I understand it correctly. But the gameplay is you walk so slow, and you have like a stamina meter in the center of the screen. You'll see sometimes, and it does, come back so you can run just a little ways and you walk so slow. And I think it's just to increase anxiety of like somebody chasing you, which you'll get into. Um, so, you can see the gameplay loop. You're kind of exploring items in your environment. You're always looking for something. Like a character will send you, this door's locked, go find this, or this needs opening, go find this, or go find this. And that's really all you're doing most of the time. But like the game starts out really strong, and if they would have continued that momentum, even with the frustrating gameplay, I think it would have helped the game out a lot. So overall, I combine gameplay and story because those are the 2 most important aspects of the game. I think if gameplay is not great, story should be great. If story isn't great, gameplay should take over. I personally prefer gameplay over story. I would rather have very good, solid, addicting gameplay and a story that's mediocre. But if it's also a good story, that just adds to it. But anyway, I combine the two and I give it a 3. That's super bare bones and low, or super low, because it's just a bare bones game. You know, there's not much to the story. There's not much depth. You don't get to know the characters very well, or very much at all. And the gameplay can be super frustrating. Although at first it is kind of intense. So a 3. Um, Replayability. I hate to say I'll never play a game again, but I'm pretty sure I'll never play this game again. Um, I mean, it's possible in 15, 20 years, my daughter wants to play a scary game, and I'm like, oh, I'll play this one. But it's so frustrating that it'd be like, play a Resident Evil game instead. Um, but if you're a platinum hunter, you might want to go, play this game because I got the platinum. It technically takes 2 playthroughs, or at least starting the game again, I think, to get the platinum, because there is one missable trophy. I think the way I played it, there was anyway. So I went back and because I was like, I'm done. After the credits rolled, I was like, I saw what I needed to see. It's just I don't regret playing it, but it was pretty poor overall. So replayability, I put 1 because it's like a 90% chance I'll never replay this game. First of all, because it's not that great. Second, because it's an hour and a half long, and third, because I platinumed it. I'm pretty sure I did everything in the game you can do. So replayability 1. Fun factor. So I would say when I started the game, um, I might have put it at like a 5, or 6 even, just because it was super intense and scary. But I didn't talk about this in the gameplay, but this fun factor is affected by this aspect of the gameplay. Once you figure out, this isn't a spoiler, but if you want to know essentially how to beat the game, don't listen to this part. I would just cut it off here. The game gets a 4.4. Okay, so it's terrible. But fun factor, I give a 3 because of this aspect. Once you figure out, at first you see an alien and it is super scary, right? It is terrifying, like for real. It like made me scream out loud one time. I opened the door and there was an alien standing there. Freaked me out. But once you figure out that you can just hit them 3 times with the bat and then they fall down and you run away. In fact, sometimes the third hit they run away from you and they hit something and fall over. The game is no longer scary, and you're just trying to find whatever is needed to progress the whatever is there of the story. So once you figure out, it went from a 6 down to a 3. And the only reason I left it at 3 is because I did not look anything up in this game, and I figured out everything on my own, which is kind of satisfying. So fun factor, 3. Um, Disappointing game. So overall, graphics 8, performance 7, gameplay/story 3, replayability 1, fun factor 3. Overall, that's a 4.4 out of 10. So it's not good. I spent $30 on this game, physically, and I think it's like 25 digitally, or even 30 digitally. So I think it's overpriced at that price point. I think if you found it on sale for less than $10, go for it. That would be the top end, $10. That's what this game is worth to me. Uh, so if you really like alien stories and you need 2 more hours of alien stories in your life, pick this game up. If you like the movie Signs, maybe pick this game up. But definitely wait for a sale, because it is not worth the asking price of $30 at all. Or if you're a platinum hunter, it's a 2.5 hour platinum. If you don't watch a guide, if you watch a guide, it may be an hour and a half, hour and 15-minute platinum. So anyway, that's all I got from the Greyhill incident. SirVern out.